Let me know when you're good. And y'all know they should be ashamed of themselves up in this joint. I'm gonna wait and see what they're gonna do. We're gonna hang out for a minute, y'all. We're gonna see what they're gonna do. Because anybody put this much energy into hate, you really got a serious psychological problem. I'm so glad I'm not infected with that type of stuff, y'all. I really am. I'm not infected with jealousy. I'm not infected with envy. I'm not infected with all those things. It must be a hard life to have to actually be that kind of person. It bothers you that much. Brother speaking truth on here. It bothers you that much. I mean, and if you was as strong as you pretend to be, if you was as much of a person that you think you are, it wouldn't bother you. See, those type of things don't bother me. Not at all. But when I start spitting truth at you, you know, they say the devil is a liar. The enemy does not like this at all. At all. They do not want y'all to hear this because I'm only speaking truth. And the really sad part about this is when I read the scriptures, I never thought that I would be able to so easily see examples of the type of people that they talk about. When I heard about the jealousy, the envy, the backstabbing, all of that, you know, I didn't think that I would see it. But guess what? The moment I start speaking truth, the devil gets upset. The minute I start speaking truth, the spirits get restless. The minute I start speaking truth, people are forced to think about what they're doing inside for a second. And some of you all, y'all know that old saying, the only weapon formed against me won't prosper. And that appears to be what's happening right now. So we're gonna keep it moving. I'm not going nowhere. I came to tell y'all some things. And if somebody don't want to hear it, you can always exit. Okay? Now, y'all going all out y'all way. Y'all putting a whole lot of energy into this too. If y'all would put that much energy into us unifying and moving forward, we could get down the road so much faster. I think what I really find out is people who want to separate the vision from the provision. What I mean by that is this: what he has for you is just for you. So if he gives something to you, then he wants you to do something with the something that he gave to you because it's for you. And if what you do does his perfect will, then everybody benefits. The problem is some of y'all are filled with such hatred in your heart that you don't even want the person that he gave it to have it, even if it's beneficial for you. That is a very serious problem for you to have as a human being. I don't have those. That's probably why I can sit here and speak straight to your spirit, straight to your heart. And some people will say, well, he's a smooth talker. No, I'm not a smooth talker at all. I don't make up these words. I don't make these thoughts. I simply get in tune with the Most High, and I say whatever he puts on my mind. And tonight, he wanted me to put 3 things on your mind, plus clear up some misconceptions. But I wanted to address something that's very serious. There is a statement that was made about me by someone that I respected on Facebook. You know, I don't do Facebook, but it was made on Facebook. It was very, very slanderous. It was very, very damaging. It was very, very incorrect. And I don't know what the agenda is behind you people who always want to attack anyone who wants to step up for the people. But then again, maybe I do, because I did a little bit of research, and we'll get into that in a minute. But this energy that was put into this particular statement has aroused the concerns of some of my constituents and myself. You see, if you're not a student of Factz over Feelingz, if you're not a student of the Morning Mental, then you can't take a piece of the class and then try to use it to justify you being a complete ass. You see, you can't take the text out of context to build a pretext for your argument. Now, if you want someone to get the full text and the context, and have them watch the entire video. And all of you all who don't do your research and never knew who we was, and if I asked you, have you ever watched The Morning Mental? Duh, no. If I said, have you ever watched Factz Over Feelingz? Duh, no. I don't even know what that is. And how the hell can you speak effectively about what was presented to you? You mean to tell me the same thing that they did to the Honorable Louis Minister Farrakhan, where they would take a piece of one of his speeches and then use it to try to crucify him, which is an old COINTEL strategy. Y'all letting them do it to y'all again. And my people are so gullible. Y'all are so gullible. Y'all run behind anything and everybody that sounds good to you. So I guess your only good is your latest spit. So let me spit a little bit here. The first thing I've already done is shatter the myth. I'm getting tired of y'all talking about certain things that you know nothing about. That's the first thing. The second thing is, let me clear something up. If you don't understand the context is when they liberated themselves from Haiti, and I'll say it again, they killed every person that looked like them first, so that when they went to fight their oppressors, they wouldn't have anybody who looks like them that would be against what they were trying to do. And if you're all about liberation, like you claim, if you're all about the freedom of our people, if you're all about reparations, if you're all about all of that, then how could you be against anyone that's about that? Because if you are, then we have to question what your motives are. Maybe you like things being the way they are. Maybe you're afraid. Maybe you're just jealous and envious. But whatever it is, it comes out looking rather strange when everyone else wants the same goal. Now, when I saw this statement, I did respond to it, and I explained to everyone, I don't owe you any explanations, none whatsoever. You see, I'm doing something with what was given to me. What you do with what he gave to you, that's entirely on you. I have nothing to do with that. However, don't sit around and think that if you continue to slander me, that there won't be some type of retaliation legally. I want to let that float before y'all take that out of context too. So if you don't come to the teaching, don't speak on the lesson, I'm going to run around and start fighting other militias. What kind of craziness is that when we're trying to form a unified coalition? That doesn't even make sense in the daytime. And since y'all won't let it go, let me explain this to you one last time so that y'all can get past this and we can move forward. It ain't who you used to be. It's who you are right now and what we can see. You shall know them by their fruit. You shall know them by their works. So let's talk about fruit. Let's talk about works that have moved the needle in the liberation struggle for Black people planet-wide. You don't have to like me. I didn't come to be your friend. I came to liberate my people. And some of you, by your actions, are simply verifying what I said. If we have to leave this place, you will fight us. You're fighting us already. So we don't expect you to change. Now, if you're misinformed, get informed. And don't speak recklessly about things that you haven't educated yourself about. If it's one thing that I am, it's I'm highly intelligent. And I'm not stupid by a long shot, so please. And I'm talking to my own people. For real, y'all. For real. You out your goddamn mind. For real. Now, let me shift the gears and let me talk to the white people for a minute. Because white people, you're even worse. And I'm not being racial, I'm being factual. You're so afraid of what's happening around you. The only things that can come out of your mouth are things that sound like they're intelligent, but they're designed to tear down what we've built. In fact, isn't going anywhere. Deal with it. Matter of fact, don't deal with it. Just when we decide to leave, don't stand in our way. And some of y'all got a hard time accepting that. But that's okay, because I can talk about the type of person that does things like this. Because I was very, very concerned, very concerned. And when I saw this, I wanted to go ahead and spend a little bit of time talking about, you know him well, he's called the slanderer. But you can join me somewhere around chapter 44, if you have the ancient tablets. The slanderer. The slanderer. The malicious word of the slanderer is like a barbed and poisoned dart, and swift to destroy, faster than the whirlwind. The slanderer casts down the good works of men with the tempest of his vile breath. His spite undermines the peace of household, and his tongue builds temples of deceit. The mouth of a slanderer is like a cesspool from which nothing forth comes but bad smell. The tongue of the scalamonger is like a maggot. It spreads rottenness where once all was wholesome. It hatches the filth upon which it feeds. Filth begets filth, which bewailing its existence. The slanderer and the scalamonger fill their bellies with it. The utterance from which pour from the mouth of the slanderer are hornets bent on harm and destruction. He is the father of lies, the servant of wickedness. He is the evil ferryman of whom our father spoke. All praise to the Most High. I described it from the words of the Creator, and you're seeing it manifested in people. You see, some of you have it twisted. I'm not just some crazy guy with a bunch of guns. I am a teacher. So therefore, what I'm doing is the will of the Most High. I have to ask, what are you doing? Cast out the slanderer from amongst you. His thoughts, they hunt in the midst of dark places. What he brings forth are the ingredients of mischief and woe. His tongue is the whip that lashes the graceful back of gracious truth. If the water be dirty, can the linen be cleaned or washed 10 times over? You see, ever since I told y'all I was in love with black people, ever since I said I was having a love affair with my black folks, ever since I stood on the behalf of my sisters, ever since I started breaking down the difference between real men and weaklings, ever since I said that I love all of you, there has been nothing but hatred from the very people that I say I love. Does this sound familiar to anybody listening to me tonight? I find it interesting that the bigger this love gets, the harder the hate gets. And now I understand why. Because I'm doing something, not that you don't want to do. I'm doing something you're incapable of doing. Don't ask me how I'm doing all of this. Even I don't know. Because I'm just letting myself be used. I'm letting myself be a spokesperson. I'm letting myself be a piece on the chessboard. I'm moving in my purpose. And I'm doing something. And the people are tired of being talked to. The people are tired of speeches. The people are tired of empty chants. The people are tired. The time has come to move the people down the chessboard. I saw a headline that said that black militia threatens to create its own nation. We're threatening by creating our own nation. They didn't say black militia desires. You don't understand these people that you're up against. You don't understand who you're in bed with. But maybe some of you do understand, but you hate yourself and you hate your own kind so much that to hear someone say they love all of them unconditionally, it burns you because you're incapable of it. You're the slanderer, and you start slandering me. You start lying on me. You start putting things together that are not true. The real test, because I told you that this world is nothing more than a test for your soul, to see if you're worthy to elevate to the next level. See, this is what happens when you evolve, when you learn. This is a test. Are you failing? Or are you passing? This is all a test. COVID-19 was a test of the entire world. The quarantine was a test of the entire world. Black and white folks, this is a test of the emergency racial response system. This is only a test. And some of you are failing miserably. It goes on to say, never permit the slanderer to greet you as a friend, lest you lose regard of your neighbors. Avoid his son, for a rotten tree does not bear sound fruit. The unbridled tongue of the slanderer seeks out trouble and spreads it abroad. I have to ask myself after reading what I wrote, what is your goal? For NFAC to go away, for things to go back to the way they were? Is that what you like? Or as I heard one person say, well, maybe if you weren't the leader, who do you think created NFAC? Where do you think it came from? It came from here. So there is no replacing the leader. This is something you've never seen before. For the slander, I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. One last thing to all of the members of the other black militias. There's no intent to attack you. Don't believe that lie. Matter of fact, in order to grow the coalition, we need you. Every time I come on here, I talk about who's a part of us and who's not. And every day you see another display of how successful and the spirit and the inspiration that is now permeated through black folks. They're feeling proud of something, and you won't let them have that. They can't be in love with anything that's just about them. By them, for them. You can't allow that. That's interesting. Well, I think I beat that horse enough. I think we can move on past that. But I need to bring something to your attention. We're going to shift gears completely. We're going to go in a completely different direction. And I want all of my people tonight, if you have a copy of William Cooper's Behold a Pale Horse, I need you to go get it right now. I'm going to wait a few minutes. Behold a Pale Horse. If you have a copy, you don't want to miss this. Go get your copy. And I need you to have it because you're going to verify what I'm going to show you. This is what I mean about them distracting y'all with meaningless babble. Let me tell you something. I find it interesting that more people are talking about the pros and cons of NFAC or the validity or non-validity of Grandmaster Jay than talking about what this is about, Breonna Taylor. Y'all done lost complete sight of what this whole thing is about. Stone Mountain, KKK, people getting lynched. This was about Breonna Taylor. And y'all are so quick to talk negative that y'all ain't sitting back looking, you know what, thank you, for getting some type of movement, some type of transparency on what's going on with this woman that was killed. Nobody is sitting around saying, hey, you know what, that looked good that black people could come together and nobody, rioted and tore up, nobody got arrested or nothing. There was an accidental discharge of a weapon, yeah. But look at what's been happening with the other highly trained people for the last couple of days. The Army, the Marines, they're highly trained too. And by the way, thank you for the gentleman who actually went and did some research on weapons that do fire, even when the bolt comes forward and you think that it won't. Thank you for bringing that up. But then again, let's get back to this. Say something good first before you're so quick to criticize. Try to look at the good in things before you're so quick to listen to somebody telling you something negative. If a person walks up to me and says, I wouldn't be that person's friend, and all they tell me is negative stuff about that person, I'm like, they ain't never did nothing good at all. You just don't want me to be their friend because you got a problem. Okay. Some of y'all got the green eye monster. That's cool too. That's for you to get fixed. That's feelings. That's why this is fact over feelings. Go get your copy of William Cooper's To Behold a Pale Horse. If you have a copy, we're going to do something really, really quick here. And before I do that, I want to make you aware of something that many of us are not aware of. And that is that there are certain things that people would rather you not have in your possession. There are certain things that people would rather you didn't know. So they make sure they take them out of the history books. Then there are books like what we're talking about now. And these are books that they wish didn't exist, but we all have them. So if you have your copy of Behold the Pale Horse, I want you to open to the table of contents. I want you to open to the table of contents. When you get to the table of contents, I want you to look at it. Let's take a good look at it because I'm going to show you something. And if you're not the kind of person who reads, this went right over your head. So if you're not a reader, you can go ahead and check out right now. Okay. This is a copy of Behold the Pale Horse. You've all seen it before. Here it is. See? Right? Behold the Pale Horse. Required reading. I'm going to turn the table of contents. This is the table of contents. If you can see that, table of contents. Now, one of my students said, hey, I got my book from Amazon. I got Behold the Pale Horse. I said, great. Let me see it. So they brought it to me. This is what they showed me. I'm thinking, oh, wait a minute. That looks different. It's a lot thinner. Why does it look so? Wait a minute. Here's the original. And here's the other. Notice the difference? Oh, cover's different, right? So I'm going like, well, wait a minute. It looks thinner also. So what I did was I took the table of contents and I lined it up with the table of contents of the original one, page numbers and all, because this book has been around for a long, long time. It's very controversial. If you've never read Behold the Pale Horse, you should. Here's what was interesting. If you have your table of contents with you, I'm going to read out what the contents are. When I get to something that does not make sense to you, I want you to type in hold up. Okay? Here we go. I'm going to start at chapter 1 and I'm going to go down. Now, depending on what you have, you're going to see a problem or you're not. Here we go. Chapter 1, silent weapons for quiet wars. Chapter 2, secret societies and the New World Order. Chapter 3, oath of initiation of unidentified secret order. Chapter 4, secret treaty of Verona. We're going to stop right there because guess what? Chapter 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Go to chapter 14. Chapter 14, up to that point, is just like the original version. Here's the difference. Chapter 15 in the old version says the protocols of the elders of Zion. But if you look at the new version, chapter 15 is the story of Jonathan May. So, well, wait a minute. There's a whole chapter missing. And then if you look at the rest of the book that's in, the rest of what's in there, everything else is there. There's just that one piece missing. So I go, well, wait a minute. What exactly is the protocols of the elders of Zion? And why is it missing from this man's book? So I looked at the new version and I said, the version that I had says 1991. Stay with me, people. But this version says copyright 1991, revised 2019. So somebody took it upon themselves to remove this particular section, fix up the cover a little bit, and say it's revised. Revised means you've rewritten it, not take something out of it. And I'm pretty sure if Mr. Cooper hadn't been murdered, he'd probably have a problem with the fact that there's a whole damn chapter missing out of his book. So I cruised on over to my old original version. If you got the original version, look at chapter 15. The protocols are the elders of Zion. So I went and pulled up, and there it is in the book right there. There's this chapter, which is not in the other book. Here comes the crazy part. Y'all ready for this? They didn't take out 1 or 2 pages. Cousin, they took out 66 pages. 66 pages. Like, well, damn, what is this all about? And I started to examine the protocols of the wise men of Zion. And it says right here, this is an exact reprint of the original text. This has been written intentionally to deceive people. For clear understanding, the word Zion should be Sion. Any reference to Jews should be replaced with the word Illuminati, and the word Goyim should be replaced with the word cattle. That's the opening of this section. So I'm going like, whoa, what's this about? Oh, so I go digging into this and I find out that these are rules of how to govern us and how to destroy and maintain control of us for a particular group that I won't call out here because I don't want anyone to attack me. I'm just reading out the book. And as I went through these protocols, there are about 14 protocols. I begin to wonder about other people who are in certain situations right now where it looks like they're being controlled. They're being made to humble. They're being made to heal. They're being made to show appreciation. You insulted us. You got to kiss booty now. They're being made. And when you read these protocols, this is what they said you do when someone gets out of order. So why would they take this out of the book? Well, I had to go and do some more research. I couldn't find out why from them that they took it out the book because they won't talk about it. But it is very damaging, and it raises concern against a very protected group in our society, and I'm talking about Jews. That's what it's talking about. Why would that be gone? Why would they take it out? Why would they take this out of this man's work? And when do we start taking stuff out of books? Don't we just ban the whole book? So now if I'm reading this book, I don't know any of this. Well, I'm sorry. I thought this book was always considered to be conspiracy theory and that none of it was real. So why would you take one part out and then leave the book in circulation unless it's all real and you don't want someone to see that part? If you have a copy of Behold the Pale Horse and you bought it recent from Amazon and it says it's 2019, what you have is an incomplete book. Those of us who have the book with the original copyright of 1991, not only do we have the original book, but we have all the appendices that are in the back with all these documents and these scanned documents that were top secret classified that for some strange reason, when I look in this book here, well, is there some advertisements and stuff like that? So they changed the whole goddamn book around. Is that what we're doing now? But then again, why am I surprised? They did the same thing to the Bible. But y'all ain't come here to hear that. Y'all came here to hear about some mess. Dig around in some mess. You're not going to do that. Still waiting on some charges in the issue of Breonna Taylor. Again, I had to come hit y'all in the head with that tonight. And I wanted to also speak specifically to the slanderous statements that I've seen over on Facebook, which are all a lie. I'm not attempting to attack anyone. I haven't issued a threat against any Black militias. I don't have any intentions of attacking my people. But if you're going to pull out a piece of my class, then at least take the whole class. You might enjoy the morning lecture. You might enjoy Factz over Feelingz. In the meantime and in between time, I'm gonna leave y'all again, one more again, because I did this earlier in the show. Again, my military records that I went and had pulled because someone said something that we love to pull out. I brag, oh, we love to pull these out. Trust me, we ain't got nothing better to do than to pull these out. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, me, oh, me, oh, my. So I'm going to pull out this 214 one more again, and I'm going to pull it out right there. There we go. Got that 214 in the house. Y'all know what 214 is if you ex-military. And, you know, I just like to read this last line right here. It says, overseas ribbon, expert marksman. Let me help y'all out real quick. Let me get up in there so y'all won't think I'm making it up. You got to show it to me. You know what that says? That says expert marksman. Okay, you can freeze frame it and read it. All right. So please stop with the I can't shoot shit. It's embarrassing. Anyway, make a long story short, that's all I had for you tonight. If you got a copy of Behold the Pale Horse, make sure you get the original copy. If you're slandering, stop, because you'll see me now or see me later in court. And if you're still, in effect, moving along with the movement of unifying our people so we can move toward getting reparations, restitution, and everything else that's owed to us, then you continue to rock and roll with your boy. For all of y'all that I'm still in love with, that's still in love with me, still in love with this movement, still in love with NFAC, it is a global phenomenon right now because everybody is ready to move forward and not just sing and hold hands and so forth. The coalition grows daily. It grows daily. One last thing I want y'all to know so you get the heads up. The Washington Post has reached out. They said they are now interested in learning about NFAC. Let's hope that they do a better job than what ABC did by trying to bury the story. Some folks know that the more real we get, the more we expose their fraudulent nature. But they want to call me a fraud. I haven't collected one dime, so where's the fraud? The movement is real. NFAC is real. The people are real. The love is real. Y'all have a wonderful night. And if I don't see you again, I'll be back again. Let's see, I'm back again because I'm not going to have time. I'll be back again on Monday. No, Tuesday. I'm sorry, Tuesday. So don't look for morning mentals. Don't look for facts over feelings until Tuesday, because I've got some other stuff that I have to do as we continue to spread the word about all the wonderful things that we're trying to do to move us to a better place so we can get what's owed to us. And just because we love ourselves doesn't mean that we hate you. So please stop with that. It's okay to love yourself. It's okay. It is all right for us to love each other. It's okay to look out for each other. Stop letting people tell you how to be you. And this self-hatred, we've got to stop it. We're about protecting the Black race. We're about protecting our children. Anyone who tells you that obviously doesn't give a damn about either one of them, because we do. In the meantime, big shout out to all of the different folks that have had me on their shows. I'm not going to list them all here. And I don't take sides. I believe that the only way we're going to get along is if we get over ourselves. So before we can go any further, let me tell you, if we can't get over ourselves, then nobody else will either. So keep your feet on the ground, keep your head to the sky, and remember, this is facts over feelings. Y'all keep bringing your feelings, and that's not the best way to do this. Now, as far as those folks that are afraid of us unifying, and you're running around making all these hate videos on YouTube and this, that, and the third, your fear is showing. It is. And if you want to keep talking about who's failed, while you're including people who failed, are you going to include the United States Marines and the United States Army? Because they had some snafus in the past couple of days, and y'all ain't talking about that. But I'm just wondering. So y'all go ahead and keep on doing what you're doing. In the meantime, I'm going to come back and see y'all later if anything else happens. But in the meantime, I think I've said what needed to be said. It's a big salute to all of the members of the NFAC globally, everywhere. And people looking good out there. And I'm proud of each and every one of you. And I want folks to know that if someone hasn't told you, I'm glad you took the time to get up and do what we have to do. So anybody else, we hear you, but we want you to do something. We want you to get out and do what we're doing. We don't want to be the only ones doing it. And if you don't like what we're doing, just go ahead and form your own militia. But for right now, NFAC is in fact the biggest that's on the block working with everybody else. I'm going to leave you like that. I hope that I've cleared up some things for you. And if I haven't, well, maybe you don't want them cleared up. Or have a good night. Me, I'm going to go and try and forget all of this going on, because there's a lot of things to love right now. And y'all sitting around acting like y'all don't want to do that. But I do. So let's just keep our feet on the ground, keep our heads in the sky, okay? Incredible night. My mind stays blown. Y'all never cease to amaze me.